Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Work or act as a babysitter. I cannot babysit tonight. I have too much homework to do. Show to a seat. Assign a seat for. Be seated. Sit and travel on the back of animal, usually while controlling its motions. Be around, often idly or without specific purpose. Take a seat. Assume a posture as for artistic purposes. Be in session. When does the court of law sit? Be located or situated somewhere. The White House sits on Pennsylvania Avenue. Serve in a specific professional capacity. Work or act as a babysitter. I cannot babysit tonight. I have too much homework to do. Take watchful responsibility for. I babysit the neighbor's plants when she is out of town. Work or act as a babysitter. Take watchful responsibility for. Show to a seat. Assign a seat for. The host seated me next to Mrs. Smith. Place ceremoniously or formally in an office or position. A space reserved for sitting, as in a theater or on a train or airplane. He booked their seats in advance. The fleshy part of the human body that you sit on. A center of authority, as a city from which authority is exercised. Any support where you can sit, especially the part of a chair or bench etc. on which you sit. He dusted off the seat before sitting down. A part of a machine that supports or guides another part. Be able to seat. The theater seats 2,000. Furniture that is designed for sitting on. There were not enough seats for all the guests. Place in or on a seat. The mother seated the toddler on the high chair. Place or attach firmly in or on a base. Seat the camera on the tripod. Provide with seats. Seat a concert hall. Put a seat on a chair. The cloth covering for the buttocks. The seat of his pants was worn through. The legal right to sit as a member in a legislative or similar body. He was elected to a seat in the Senate. The location, metaphorically speaking, where something is based. The brain is said to be the seat of reason. Show to a seat. Assign a seat for. Be seated. Take a seat. A journey in a vehicle, usually an automobile. Have certain properties when driven. This car rides smoothly. Copulate with. Sit and travel on the back of animal, usually while controlling its motions. Did you ever ride a camel? Be contingent on. The outcomes rides on the results of the election. Harass with persistent criticism or carping. Don't ride me so hard over my failure. A mechanical device that you ride for amusement or excitement. Be carried or travel on or in a vehicle. I ride to work in a bus. Be sustained or supported or borne. Climb up on the body. Shorts that ride up. Continue undisturbed and without interference. Let it ride. Keep partially engaged by slightly depressing a pedal with the foot. Don't ride the clutch. Lie moored or anchored. Ship rides at anchor. Move like a floating object. Ride over, along, or through. Sit on and control a vehicle. He rides his bicycle to work every day. Be around, often idly or without specific purpose. A person who poses for a photographer or painter or sculptor. The president didn't have time to be a model, so the artist worked from photos. Construct a model of. Model an airplane. A representative form or pattern. A hypothetical description of a complex entity or process. The computer program was based on a model of the circulatory and respiratory systems. Worthy of imitation. Model citizens. Representation of something, sometimes on a smaller scale. A woman who wears clothes to display fashions. Something to be imitated. A model of clarity. Someone worthy of imitation. Every child needs a role model. The act of representing something, usually on a smaller scale. Create a representation or model of. Form in clay, wax, etc. Model a head with clay. Assume a posture as for artistic purposes. Plan or create according to a model or models. A type of product. His car was an old model. Display, clothes, as a mannequin. Model the latest fashion. Introduce. This poses an interesting question. Be a mystery or bewildering to. A deliberate pretense or exaggerated display. Put into a certain place or abstract location. Assume a posture as for artistic purposes. We don't know the woman who posed for Leonardo so often. Behave affectedly or unnaturally in order to impress others. Pretend to be someone you are not, sometimes with fraudulent intentions. She posed as the Tsar's daughter. Affected manners intended to impress others. A posture assumed by models for photographic or artistic purposes. Characteristic way of bearing one's body. Stood with good posture. Capability in terms of personnel and materiel that affect the capacity to fight a war. Politicians have neglected our military posture. A rationalized mental attitude. The arrangement of the body and its limbs. Assume a posture as for artistic purposes. Behave affectedly or unnaturally in order to impress others. She postured and made a total fool of herself. Endure to the end. Not participate in an activity, such as a dance or a sports event. A device designed to prevent injury or accidents. The duty of serving as a sentry. He was on guard that night. A precautionary measure warding off impending danger or damage or injury, etc. An insurance policy as a good safeguard. Watch over or shield from danger or harm, protect. Guard my possessions while I'm away. Protect against a challenge or attack. American football. A position on the line of scrimmage. Guards must be good blockers. A military unit serving to protect some place or person. A person who keeps watch over something or someone. A position on a basketball team. A posture of defense in boxing or fencing. Keep your guard up. Take precautions in order to avoid some unwanted consequence. Guard against becoming too friendly with the staff. The person who plays that position on a football team. The left guard was injured on the play. The person who plays the position of guard on a basketball team. To keep watch over. There would be men guarding the horses. An unofficial association of people or groups. The smart set goes there. Get ready for a particular purpose or event. Set up an experiment. Several exercises intended to be done in series. He did 4 sets of the incline bench press. Representation consisting of the scenery and other properties used to identify the location of a dramatic production. The sets were meticulously authentic. A relatively permanent inclination to react in a particular way. The set of his mind was obvious. Disappear beyond the horizon. The sun sets early these days. Decide upon or fix definitely. Put or set seeds, seedlings, or plants into the ground. Establish as the highest level or best performance. Set a record. Urge to attack someone. Set down according to a plan. A carefully laid table with places set for 4 people. Usually followed by to or for, on the point of or strongly disposed. We are set to go at any time. Converted to solid form, as concrete. Make ready or suitable or equip in advance for a particular purpose or for some use, event, etc. Determined or decided upon as by an authority. The time set for the launching. Equip with sails or masts. Insert a nail or screw below the surface, as into a countersink. Locate. The film is set in Africa. Fixed and unmoving. With eyes set in a fixed glassy stare. Put into a certain place or abstract location. Adapt for performance in a different way. Set this poem to music. Psychology, being temporarily ready to respond in a particular way. The subject set led them to solve problems the familiar way and to overlook the simpler solution. Become gelatinous. Situated in a particular spot or position. A house set on a hilltop. Fix conclusively or authoritatively. Set the rules. Evil Egyptian god with the head of a beast that has high square ears and a long snout, brother and murderer of Osiris. Arrange attractively. Alter or regulate so as to achieve accuracy or conform to a standard. Estimate. The process of becoming hard or solid by cooling or drying or crystallization. He tested the set of the glue. Bear fruit. Set in type. My book will be typeset nicely. A group of things of the same kind that belong together and are so used. A set of books. Any electronic equipment that receives or transmits radio or TV signals. The early sets ran on storage batteries. Apply or start. Set fire to a building. A unit of play in tennis or squash. They played 2 sets of tennis after dinner. Being below the horizon. The moon is set. Fix in a border. The goldsmith set the diamond. Give a fine, sharp edge to a knife or razor. Mathematics, an abstract collection of numbers or symbols. The set of prime numbers is infinite. Put into a certain state. Cause to be in a certain state. Set the house afire. Put into a position that will restore a normal state. Set a broken bone. Set to a certain position or cause to operate correctly. Set clocks or instruments. The act of putting something in position. He gave a final set to his hat. The descent of a heavenly body below the horizon. Before the set of sun. A job in an organization. Assign a location to. A point located with respect to surface features of some region. This is a nice place for a picnic. Assign a rank or rating to. The particular portion of space occupied by something. He put the lamp back in its place. A particular situation. If you were in my place, what would you do? Assigned to a station. A space reserved for sitting, as in a theater or on a train or airplane. He sat in someone else's place. Recognize as being. Establish the identity of someone or something. Where you live at a particular time. Your place or mine. Identify the location or place of. Locate. Take a place in a competition, often followed by an ordinal. Put into a certain place or abstract location. A public square with room for pedestrians. Make an investment. Proper or designated social situation. He overstepped his place. A blank area. Any area set aside for a particular purpose. Who owns this place? Estimate. An item on a list or in a sequence. In the second place. Intend, something, to move towards a certain goal. The post or function properly or customarily occupied or served by another. Took his place. A general vicinity. He comes from a place near Chicago. An abstract mental location. He has a special place in my thoughts. Assigned to, a job or a home. Finish second or better in a horse or dog race. He bet $2 on number 6 to place. Place somebody in a particular situation or location. He was placed on probation. Proper or appropriate position or location. A woman's place is no longer in the kitchen. Sing a note with the correct pitch. The passage that is being read. He lost his place on the page. To arrange for. Place a phone call. A condition or position in which you find yourself. The unpleasant situation, or position, of having to choose between two evils. A job in an organization. The spatial property of a place where or way in which something is situated. The position of the hands on the clock. The particular portion of space occupied by something. A rationalized mental attitude. An opinion that is held in opposition to another in an argument or dispute. A way of regarding situations or topics, etc. The arrangement of the body and its limbs. The relative position or standing of things or especially persons in a society. Atheists do not enjoy a favorable position in American life. A point occupied by troops for tactical reasons. Put into a certain place or abstract location. The act of putting something in a certain place. An item on a list or in a sequence. Moved from third to fifth position. The post or function properly or customarily occupied or served by another. Cause to be in an appropriate place, state, or relation. In team sports, the role assigned to an individual player. What position does he play? The act of positing, an assumption taken as a postulate or axiom. The appropriate or customary location. The cars were in position. Attribute or give. She put too much emphasis on the last statement. Formulate in a particular style or language. I wouldn't put it that way. Arrange thoughts, ideas, temporal events. I put these memories with those of bygone times. Put into a certain place or abstract location. Make an investment. The option to sell a given stock, or stock index or commodity future, at a given price before a given date. Estimate. We put the time of arrival at 8 p.m. Adapt. Put these words to music. Cause someone to undergo something. He put her to the torture. Cause to be in a certain state. Cause to be in a certain relation. That song put me in awful good humor. A narrative poem of popular origin. Characteristic of those who are not members of the clergy. The lay ministry. Put in a horizontal position. Lay the books on the table. A narrative song with a recurrent refrain. Put into a certain place or abstract location. Impose as a duty, burden, or punishment. Lay a responsibility on someone. Lay eggs. This hen doesn't lay. Not of or from a profession. A lay opinion as to the cause of the disease. Prepare or position for action or operation. Lay a fire. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. We traveled from Rome to Naples by bus. Travel upon or across. Travel the oceans. Undertake a journey or trip. A movement through space that changes the location of something. Self-propelled movement. Make a trip for pleasure. The act of going from one place to another. He enjoyed selling but he hated the travel. Travel from place to place, as for the purpose of finding work, preaching, or acting as a judge. Undergo transportation as in a vehicle. We traveled north on Route 508. Follow a certain course. How did your interview go? Have a particular form. As the saying goes, move away from a place into another direction. Perform as expected when applied. The washing machine won't go unless it's plugged in. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. How fast does your new car go? Be in the right place or situation. Let's put healthcare where it belongs, under the control of the government. A usually brief attempt. A board game for two players who place counters on a grid. The object is to surround and so capture the opponent's counters. Pass from physical life and lose all bodily attributes and functions necessary to sustain life. Make a certain noise or sound. Lead, extend, or afford access. This door goes to the basement. Street names for methylenedioxymethamphetamine. Continue to live and avoid dying. Begin or set in motion. Ready, set, go. Stop operating or functioning. To be spent or finished. The money had gone after a few days. A time period for working, after which you will be relieved by someone else. It's my go. Blend or harmonize. This sofa won't go with the chairs. Go through in search of something. Search through someone's belongings in an unauthorized way. Enter or assume a certain state or condition. Get going. Have a turn. Make one's move in a game. Can I go now? Give support to, or make a choice of, one out of a group or number. Stretch out over a distance, space, time, or scope. Run or extend between 2 points or beyond a certain point. His knowledge doesn't go very far. Follow a procedure or take a course. We should go farther in this matter. Be the right size or shape. Fit correctly or as desired. Progress by being changed. The speech has to go through several more drafts. Be abolished or discarded. These ugly billboards have to go. Be or continue to be in a certain condition. Be ranked or compare. This violinist is as good as Juilliard-trained violinists go. Be spent. Functioning correctly and ready for action. All systems are go. Pass, fair, or elapse, of a certain state of affairs or action. How is it going? Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. Give an incentive for action. This moved me to sacrifice my career. Be in a state of action. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. The soldiers moved towards the city in an attempt to take it before night fell. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. Cause to move or shift into a new position or place, both in a concrete and in an abstract sense. The director moved more responsibilities onto his new assistant. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. We must move quickly. The act of changing your residence or place of business. They say that 3 moves equal 1 fire. Have a turn. Make one's move in a game. Have an emotional or cognitive impact upon. Follow a procedure or take a course. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. Progress by being changed. Propose formally, in a debate or parliamentary meeting. Arouse sympathy or compassion in. Her fate moved us all. Change residence, affiliation, or place of employment. We moved from Idaho to Nebraska. Dispose of by selling. The chairman of the company told the salesman to move the computers. Game. A player's turn to take some action permitted by the rules of the game. Go or proceed from one point to another. The debate moved from family values to the economy. Live one's life in a specified environment. She moves in certain circles only. Move so as to change position, perform a non-translational motion. He moved his hand slightly to the right. The act of deciding to do something. He didn't make a move to help. Be priced at. Represent, as of a character on stage. Form or compose. These constitute my entire belonging. Be identical or equivalent to. Have life, be alive. A light, strong, brittle gray toxic bivalent metallic element. Have an existence, be extant. Work in a specific place, with a specific subject, or in a specific function. Have the quality of being. Copula, used with an adjective or a predicate noun. Occupy a certain position or area, be somewhere. What is behind this behavior? Spend or use time. I may be an hour. To remain unmolested, undisturbed, or uninterrupted, used only in infinitive form. Let her be. Undergo a change in bodily posture. To show, make visible or apparent. The Metropolitan Museum is exhibiting Goya's works this month. Something shown to the public. The museum had many exhibits of Oriental art. Give an exhibition of to an interested audience. Walk ostentatiously. An object or statement produced before a court of law and referred to while giving evidence. Show an attribute, property, knowledge, or skill. He exhibits a great talent. To show, make visible or apparent. Reveal to view as by removing a cover. Put in a dangerous, disadvantageous, or difficult position. Make known to the public information that was previously known only to a few people or that was meant to be kept a secret. Remove all or part of one's clothes to show one's body. The man exposed himself in the subway. The exposure of an impostor or a fraud. He published an exposé of the graft and corruption in city government. Expose while ridiculing, especially of pretentious or false claims and ideas. Abandon by leaving out in the open air. The infant was exposed by the teenage mother. Expose or make accessible to some action or influence. Expose the blanket to sunshine. Expose to light, a photographic film. To show, make visible or apparent. National leaders will have to display the highest skills of statesmanship. Something shown to the public. An electronic device that represents information in visual form. Something intended to communicate a particular impression. Made a display of strength. A visual representation of something. Attract attention by displaying some body part or posing, of animals. Behavior that makes your feelings public. A display of emotion. Exhibiting openly in public view. A display of courage. Call together. The students were convened in the auditorium. Meet formally. The council convened last week. Mate with. Male animals serve the females for breeding purposes. Be used by, as of a utility. The sewage plant served the neighboring communities. Be sufficient. Be adequate, either in quality or quantity. Nothing else will serve. Work for or be a servant to. May I serve you? Serve a purpose, role, or function. The tree stump serves as a table. Sports. A stroke that puts the ball in play. His powerful serves won the game. Deliver a warrant or summons to someone. Help to some food. Help with food or drink. I served him 3 times, and after that he helped himself. Promote, benefit, or be useful or beneficial to. Art serves commerce. Spend time in prison or in a labor camp. Provide, usually but not necessarily food. We serve meals for the homeless. Contribute or conduce to. The scandal served to increase his popularity. Devote, part of, one's life or efforts to, as of countries, institutions, or ideas. She served the art of music. Do duty or hold offices, serve in a specific function. He served as head of the department for 3 years. Do military service. She served in Vietnam. Put the ball into play. It was Agassi's turn to serve. Provide with a new seat. Reseat the old broken chair. Provide with new seats. Reseat Carnegie Hall. Show to a different seat. The usher insisted on reseating us. Bend one's back forward from the waist on down. He crouched down. Sit on one's heels. The act of bending low with the limbs close to the body. Having a low center of gravity, built low to the ground. The act of assuming or maintaining a crouching position with the knees bent and the buttocks near the heels. A small worthless amount. Sit on one's heels. In some cultures, the women give birth while squatting. Exercising by repeatedly assuming a crouching position with the knees bent, strengthens the leg muscles. Short and thick, as e.g. having short legs and heavy musculature. A little church with a squat tower. Be close to the earth, or be disproportionately wide. The building squatted low. Occupy, a dwelling, illegally.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.